The Bengals have won 2 straight games. They beat the Browns on Sunday to improve to 3-4 on the season. It's time for our winners and losers from week 7. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Make sure you get to Rivertown Inquiry. Rivertown Inquiry has all of the Cincy gear you need. Look at this beautiful hoodie. It is hoodie weather. Get to rivertowninquiry.com right now. And let's dive into winners and losers. And winner number one is pretty obvious. When you talk and you're like me and you're saying, hey, get off to a fast start. Joe Burrow saying how they need to get off to an early lead. Zach Taylor saying the same thing. I'm saying it multiple times on multiple platforms. Well, the fastest way to get off to an early lead is to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Charlie Jones is our first winner of the week, and rightfully so. A 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game. Gave the Bengals a 7-0 lead. Gave them a little wiggle room, and on offense, it was a struggle. That first half offense was awful. And so when you're 0-6, 0 for 6 on third down in the first half, 0 for 1 on fourth down, just really struggling on offense, you need a spark somewhere, and they got it on the very first play of the game. Huge, huge play for Charlie Jones, huge play for Darren Simmons in the special teams unit. And there were two guys with key blocks, Drew Sample and Akeem Davis-Gaither. Huge, huge blocks that opened up the lane for Charlie Jones to run downfield. And then for him to be able to stay in bounds, evade multiple defenders, potential tacklers, and walk the tightrope into the end zone, just a huge, huge play. Charlie Jones is only the second Bengal to return a kickoff and a punt return for a touchdown. I'll say it again. The second Bengal in team history that has a kickoff return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. He's only in his second NFL season. Huge, huge for him to do that. Lamar Parrish was the other one. You would expect that from Lamar Parrish. Charlie Jones, well, he had that punt return for a touchdown last year against Baltimore and in a division game again on the road this time. Huge, huge play. He's winner number one. Winner number two, well, it's more of an entire unit. This Bengals defense stepping up, playing at such a high level the past couple of weeks, and certainly on Sunday against the Browns. I mean, they faced 3 quarterbacks. They didn't know that Dorian Thompson-Robinson was even going to be the backup. That was a shock to everyone, including the Browns, who didn't tell DTR until Saturday that he was going to be the backup. That's when he found out. He was working with scout team all week. So that threw a wrench into things. It's not like you're preparing or watching any DTR. You're thinking Jameis Winston would be Deshaun Watson's backup, excuse me, and it wasn't. And so you face 3 quarterbacks, you get 4 sacks, you have 11 quarterback hits, you have a bunch of pass breakups, you have 2 interceptions. This is the playmaking defense that I expected to see this season, where you have the savvy veterans like Mike Hilton, Geno Stone making plays on the back end. You have guys flying around like Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt, Sheldon Rankins being disruptive up the middle, Trey Hendrickson doing what he does. And by the way, Sam Hubbard took a lot of flack early in the year. He's playing pretty well right now. So the Bengals defense is winner number 2. And winner number 3 is the Bengals playmakers. I already mentioned some of them on defense, but it wasn't just defense. On offense, they desperately needed their offensive playmakers to step up, and they did. Whether it was Jamar Chase and that back shoulder touchdown that gave the Bengals a little comfort, their first offensive points of the game, or T. Higgins taking a slant 25 yards, breaking a tackle for a touchdown. He was big in this game. Jamar was big in this game. They had 9 of Joe Burrow's 15 completions. So huge, huge day for the Bengals playmakers. And that includes Geno Stone, Sheldon Rankins, Trey Hendrickson, a lot of the guys on defense that made big plays. What about the losers? Well, like I said, today's video is brought to you by rivertowninquiry.com. So make sure you just go there, check it out. Check out their 2 locations, one in Oakley, one in Findlay Market. We love Rivertown Inquiry. You will too. You got to check out their gear today. Let's get to the losers, because to me, number 1 is the Bengals rushing attack. I look at this rushing attack and you're thinking, all right, well, being able to run the ball effectively would be big. Efficiently would be big. Well, Chase Brown averaged 2.9 per carry and had a 22-yard run in there. Also had a few where it was obvious they were going to run the ball at the end. And I know some have an issue with that, but Obviously, we're going to run the ball at the end, and so the Browns were just waiting on it, and there was no real chance there. Jamar Chase had the second longest run of the game, an 11-yarder, and Zach Moss had 7 yards rushing. Point is, the running game did not go anywhere. And I look at it, and it just needs to be more efficient. I don't need more runs. I need efficient runs, effective runs. 4+ yards per carry is a reasonable expectation. They certainly didn't get that. They would have. The Cordell Volson holding call, Ron Torbert and his crew, losers, by the way. The officials in this one, and I've never done and made officials losers here. In fact, I didn't have that scheduled, but we'll make them the second losers. I hated the call on Cordell Volson. Looked like an awesome pancake block to me, and people are going to argue that. Fine. You know what you can't argue? The pass interference call that wasn't on Jamar Chase. They pick up the flag. Insane. That was an insane call at the end of the first half. Cost the Bengals points. It was a huge play in that game. So 2 awful calls. There were others that I could get into, but Ron Torbert and company, you take a big fat L for your performance on Sunday. Evan McPherson falls in this category. You need to make that field goal. You just do. I think he's fine. I'm not really worried about him. I know some are saying, "Oh, well, he's struggling at whatever." I mean, he has 2 misses on the year. I don't count the miss at the end of the Baltimore game because it really wasn't even a real attempt. And so to me, yeah, got to make that. Didn't make it. I think he'll make it next week. It's much like a Joe Burrow off target on a pass. Well, you expect him to rebound, and I expect Evan McPherson to rebound. And then my final loser, it's the skill players not named Chase or Higgins. It's the final loser this week. And it's because you look at it, and T. Higgins, 4 catches, Jamar Chase, 5 catches. Zach Moss had a nice 19-yard catch and 3 receptions for 33 yards. But outside of Higgins and Chase, no receiver caught a pass. No one. Not Andre Yosavash. None of the tight ends made an impact. Mike Gesicki was the lone one with a catch, 1 reception for 2 yards. Chase Brown had 2 catches for 9 yards. There were 5 guys, rather, that caught passes in that game. 5. 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 receivers. Just not how the Bengals are built. You need these guys, whether it's Andre Yosavash, whether it's one of these tight ends, they have to make an impact. And I do think Zach Moss has a knack for making an impact in the passing game. And obviously, that's an element, that's a factor. But you need more of that. And it just wasn't there. I mean, Tanner Hudson had 1 target. Andre Yosavash, 1 target. Eric All, 1 target. Drew Sample, 1 target. Mike Gesicki, 1 catch for 2 yards. You need more out of that group. You just do. Someone else not named T, not named Jamar. And so that's where they fall this week. Regardless, though, the Bengals are 3-4. They've won back-to-back games for the first time this season. We're going to have you covered all week long ahead of a huge game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.